Okay, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna make our own feather board. What a feather board is basically a board that's got slots cut in it, which forms I'll say a bunch of teeth. And what happens is if you line it up properly onto your wood, it'll help hold it down, help prevent kickback. I'll show you how to make it first, and then I'll be able to explain it better once I set it up and cut a board with it. First thing I did is I cut a 45 degree. It was much easier to do it on a miter saw than it was on the miter gauge. And what I've done is I've made a line 2.5 inches from here straight over. And this is my guide to where I want my teeth to stop. So in order to do that, what I've done is I've set the fence up so that it's 1/8 of an inch away from the actual blade. And I'm gonna make a series of cuts, and I'm gonna end at the line that I have drawn on here. This is how we do it. Now I have to move over. So if I move over the thickness of the blade, which is 1/8 of an inch, what happens is if I go and I make the cut, is basically all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna basically cut another section away. I don't wanna do that, so I have to add an extra 1/8 to it. So it's gonna come over 1/4 of an inch. And we should be in good shape. So I will continue to do that till I get to the end of my board. Okay, so what we've created is we created a feather board. A feather board, because of the way it's cut, has flexibility. What you want to do is you want to be able to put pressure, a little bit of pressure down on the piece. If you put pressure down on the piece, it's going to keep it flat on the table, and it's not going to have a tendency of rising up on you. It takes a second set of hands. What you're going to do is you're going to put it under a little bit of tension. It has to be behind the blade here, not in the center, not on the opposite side there. And what you're going to do is it's going to hold the piece down for you. So what at that point you would do is you would just put your clamp on here. Like I say, really great time to have a second set of hands. As you can tell, I put a little tension on it. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Put a little tiny bit of tension. What's going to happen is it's going to have a tendency of not wanting to come back on you. So the chances of it kicking back, but yet it'll put pressure on and it'll keep it flat on the table. And like I say, it's going to take a little bit of effort for it to kick back on you. Cutting a dado, you want to keep the same distance of depth on it. This feather board will keep it down. This feather board can also be used in several different applications with different types of machinery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut now. What you notice I've done is I've added an extra clamp to the feather board. That'll keep it more stable. With one clamp, sometimes it won't have a tendency of moving around on you. The second one will definitely hold it in place. What I've done is I'm just going to take a shallow cut. There's one basically saw blade, and it's going to be basically just a very small dado.